how to buy a unit. We're gonna go through 7 steps you need to follow before you buy your unit today.
Including one step that could have potentially saved a lot of unit owners in New South Wales tens of thousands of dollars from buying an apartment that ultimately has cracks in it. Nados?
Let's dive right in. Step number 1, research the area. So Jaden, walk me through how you research the area and what that looks like.
Yeah, so it's about knowing the local demographics. A really good tool for this is microburbs. So you can type in the suburb you're looking at, even the specific property. It has stuff on a cafe score. It tells you how hip it is. It tells you a good understanding of if you're gonna be living with a bunch of old people or young people. Because ultimately, if you're buying a place, you probably wanna be there for a couple of years, or you know who you're gonna be renting it to. So it's a good way to get an understanding of what you're buying before you pull the trigger.
Step number 2, check the quarterly strata fees. So this is one that you're gonna have to do on each property that you find, and you usually get this from the real estate agent. Now, Jen, why would I wanna check the quarterly fees on a property that I'm looking at, particularly when aren't they all the same between each property?
Yeah, so this is usually a bit of a precursor to see if there's issues with the building. Now, being in a building complex, you pay strata fees to keep all the common property going, to make sure the maintenance has been done, to sort out the gardens. But if there's issues with the building, then sometimes those strata fees can start to creep up. And you might be able to notice if you're comparing one building to another, if one building's got really high strata fees compared to the other ones, it could mean that there's some problems there that you're not aware of. Also, things like pools and lifts can add to these costs. And at the end of the day, you're gonna be paying an extra $1,000, $2,000, even more a quarter while you hold the property. So you need to factor this in before you buy an apartment. I have a sinking feeling, Nathan.
Ah! What the hell?
Oh my God, don't struggle, Lois. It only makes you die faster.
Give me something to grab onto!
I got something for you to grab onto.
Step number 3, check the sinking fund. So Jaden, what's a sinking fund before we talk about what to check?
The sinking fund is basically a rainy day fund that all the owners in a unit complex contribute to. It looks after any emergencies or maintenance that needs to be done on the building, or big one-offs like if an air conditioner unit breaks in a common area or you need to replace some plants.
So the reason why you want to check the sinking fund is if there's a heap of cash in the sinking fund, you've got to ask yourself a question. What hasn't the body corporate been doing from a maintenance perspective?
The other thing to think about, which I saw a lot when I was buying a unit in Sydney, was places that had nothing in the sinking fund, which then meant that the body corporate or the strata can do special levies. In other words, as the owner, they throw a hat around, you need to put in 500, maybe 1,000, maybe a few $1,000s to get the sinking fund money back up to cover some unexpected costs. So it's really important to know it's there, because otherwise you're gonna have to move in and find a bunch of out-of-pocket expenses to cover issues with the building.
Step number 4 for buying a unit is to complete a building and pest inspection. Now, I have had first-hand experience of how important these are. Back in the day, I went to buy a unit and I got a building and pest inspection. Now, I went with the inspector to check out the property. What they found was the foundations were sinking. So something that you don't really think about, particularly when buying a unit, is that there might be structural issues or even termite issues. These are all things that you want to check and get professionals in to check it out to make sure it's all good.
Step number 5 is to check what other units have sold for in your building complex. Now, this can be another one that can tell you a bit of a precursor if there's issues with the building. If people are selling for a big discount in your building compared to the ones next door, it could mean there's probably issues there, or there's something in the body corporate that you're not aware of. Equally, it gives you a good idea on what you should pay for your property. So if the prices are going up, it might be in high demand. It might be a building that has some awesome amenities, a rooftop spa, I don't know. But checking the actual sales that happen in the building are a really good way to understand what you should pay.
Step number 6 is get a copy of the body corporate minutes. Now, why you want to do this is you can read on what was going on with the property. If there's been issues with the property, if there's been special levies that are scheduled to come up, the minutes of the meeting are really the heart and soul of everything that's going on with the property. So you want to get a copy of that and understand what's been going on. The further back you can go, the better the understanding and the better history you can put together of that particular unit that you like.
And the final step, step number 7, is get a pre-approval. Now, not all banks like all units, unfortunately. Some banks have specific units that they will not lend on. Other banks have specific postcodes they won't lend on. Other banks don't like it if it's a certain square meterage in the units. It can get complicated, and just because you've got a pre-approval with the bank doesn't mean they're necessarily going to lend on the particular unit you found. So when you found the right place, get your pre-approval and make sure the bank is fine with that place before you get too far along. Wrap it up.
So that's it for today, guys. Please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, please comment below. And as always, thanks for watching.